Greetings, my dear and respected and of course beloved friends. I received a message today which said that this is a day of friendship. I do not really know whether this is a day of international friendship or whether this is a day in which a certain community in a certain country celebrates this day of friendship. Notwithstanding, I believe that for true friends, every single day is a day of friendship, because true friends stand for each other, speak out for each other, try to protect each other's interests in a genuine and sincere manner. They try to be there for one another. I regret to admit that I frequently fail to do so. Perhaps on certain occasions I'm too busy, on other occasions I'm not too well, and there may be various causes which may be subjective or objective, which often hinders me from responding to every single greeting, which, however gratefully I appreciate, I'm often unable to reply to or respond to. However, at the same time, I cannot but speak out once again against the very wrongful acts which are being committed throughout the world, of which I spoke time and time again, without any hesitation, without any reservation. As we all know, that only very recently, of course also in the past, various countries of the world have seriously been affected by natural catastrophes. I'm afraid that probably another is expected very soon in certain American states, both the states of the United States of America and on other parts of the American continent. The recent tsunami disaster in Indonesia has not merely caused much of my grievance and sadness, but has also accelerated and indeed magnified my fear. As we know that some 2,000 people have died, which no doubt include not merely the elderly and the children, but also many parents of little children and young people. This raises my fear because I know that such incidents can lead to the increasing of human trafficking and illegal slavery, a fact which none of us can rule out with a clear conscience. Human trafficking and illegal slavery have become a global problem, and perhaps worst of all crimes of our day. We need to combat such heinous crimes. None of us can do it on our own. I mean individually. This is a global problem and requires a global solution. But such a solution does not evolve on its own. Each of us, being the citizens of the world, need to work together to find a solution which will not merely be acceptable, but also effective for all. We need to fight against such serious crimes like human trafficking and illegal slavery. In order to discourage such crimes, I beg your pardon, in order to discourage such crimes, we also need to discourage corruption, especially bribery, throughout the world. Recently, I received a message which highlighted bribery in my own country. I regret and sigh to admit the fact is true, even though corruption exists in one form or another throughout the world. This is definitely not a justification, nor even an excuse for our own country. But we need to educate our people, I mean people throughout the world, to know their legitimate rights, I mean to be aware of their legitimate rights, and to ensure that they are also not merely entitled, but they are granted such rights, of course. Birthrights are rights of every individual, and such birthrights include the right to freedom or the right to be at liberty. This is a birthright of every single individual. None of us, has any legitimacy in enslaving another person. We all need to fight together, peacefully, lawfully, tactfully, to combat such heinous crimes like illegal slavery, which is no doubt evolves from human trafficking. Returning to those places, especially in the developing world, where need is great, and therefore we need to ensure that our deeds have to be preached too. Deeds are not brought up by trees, they are human efforts which bring such deeds to practical effects. And each of us has this responsibility and this moral duty to ensure that each of us plays each of our part in this world. The world may be a large place, but it is small enough to tackle its own problems if we, the children of this world, the citizens of this world, do our part, fulfill our obligations, ensuring that we meet our requirements and thus fulfill our duties. I therefore request and urge all of you once again, all those who consider me to be a friend, whether remote or close, to come forward and stand out and speak out for the victims who are endangered to be trafficked and enslaved by many too selfish, too heartless, too human I beg your pardon, I mean to inhuman individuals. It is our duty. We have no excuse in avoiding or circumventing such duties. We must act together, combinedly and lawfully, with one single aim: to ensure that illegal slavery is not merely abolished, but is eradicated throughout the world. I thank you once again for listening to this video and watching it if possible. God bless. Good night from my country on this 9th of September of the year 2018. And it is almost shortly before 10 p.m. here in my country. God bless. Good night.